call the October General Operations Committee meeting to order. Mr. Wayne, will you open us up in this case?
Absolutely. Heavenly Father, Lord God, we just thank you for today. We thank you for everyone here, Lord. We thank you for just the ability to just conduct business, Father, and just do it in a way that it honors and pleases you, Lord. We'll just ask tonight that as you help us all, each one of us, just to be more like your Son, Jesus Christ. And it's in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Approval of the agenda.
So,
motion. Second. Second by Mr. Nunn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approval of the minutes, September 2nd.
Motion.
Second. Second by Mr. Wynn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Recognition of the public. Agenda.
Jim Latimer, 1578 Latimer Lane, Hendersonville, Tennessee. Thank you for letting us speak to you tonight. First off, as I always start out with all this, I'd like to thank Mr. and Ms. Brown for their amazing gift to the Sumner County people. I believe it still remains the largest gift that's ever been bequeathed to the county. I won't hit you over the head with a bunch of histories of the house. Suffice to say that the house can trace its way back to the Mayflower, through the French and Indian Wars, to the founding of the country, to the Texas Republic. So there's a lot of history linked to that house right there. And the people that settled that property and built the house, they had blood, sweat, and tears involved in holding that property and passing it down. Mr. Brown realized the historical significance of that house whenever he was getting up in years and wanted to be sure it was preserved for the future citizens of Sumner County. And I would encourage y'all to go ahead and do that. There's been a lot of stuff brought up within the last week about the legality of Mr. Brown leaving the house. Supposedly the house was sold at one point, the property was sold for $10 and it was sold for $1.5 million. Then it was noted that Mr. Brown didn't have any say in what was done to the house after, he left. I pointed out that he made the codicil to be sure that the house was preserved. So I would like y'all to take that into account. You twist things legalese back and forth like a piece of Gatlinburg taffy, but right is right, and we need to do right on this and preserve this house. Honor Mr. Brown's wishes. He left us the house. He left us his money. He made a great gift to the citizens of Sumner County. We would like to see the current ad hoc committee continue on because there's a lot of people on there that have been familiar with the house, have been in the house, under the house, and have looked at the house. So I'd like you to consider leaving that committee in place and honor Mr. Brown's wishes. I am just a simple country boy from Shackle Island, Tennessee. And my parents told me, when I was young, that a handshake was a man's word. You gave your word, you took your money, you honored your bond. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Tommy Latimer.
Tommy Latimer, 264 Hester Road, Portland. I wrote down what I was going to say because I can't remember anything. I had a stroke a few years ago. Tell you a little bit about Mr. and Ms. Brown. Bill Brown was born March 23rd, 1932 in Sumner County. After serving our country in the Army and Navy, he married Martha Youngson in March of 1970. Bill and Martha lived on this property as long as they lived. Miss Martha died in 2010, Bill 2017. I met them in 96 or 97. I have worked on Latimer genealogy for more than 50 years. Since this property had been in the Latimer family for a while, I had traced from the North Carolina land grant as long as it was in the Latimer family. And I showed that to Bill one day. He asked me if I could trace it further, down to him and Miss Martha. Told him I'd try, so I did. Gave him deeds all the way back to the land grant. Everybody that owned it, down to him and Miss Martha. After Miss Martha passed, Bill had a lady that came in and lady, but I met her last week. Turned out that her and her husband had been friends with Bill and Martha for years. And she had actually taken care of Miss Martha in her last days, which I didn't know. But Bill became very concerned about the property. We talked about it lots of times, sitting out on the patio, in the house, out in the yard, wherever. One of the times that we talked, he told me that he had made a deal and he was going to give it to the Sumner County Board of Education. Well, when he told me that, I went and talked to the man that was in charge and was over the Board of Education at that time. And he told me the same thing. So Bill had a deal before anything was put on paper. And knowing Bill, if he hadn't had a deal, it would have been put on paper. In June of 2015 is when Bill actually made the deal, transferring, survey says 149 plus or minus acres to the Sumner County Board of Education. He reserved about 8/10 of an acre where the house is a live estate. Bill was sick at the time. This was 20 months before he passed away. And October of 2015, he made his will, leaving $500,000 to the lady and gentleman that had taken care of him, Miss Martha, and a balance to the Sumner County Board of Education. Now, this was 16 months before his death. Somebody in the county wasn't satisfied with that, so they talked Bill into making a cut for his council. And he did that in March of 2016, but he didn't touch the 500 he'd left to this couple. But he did say that 500 was to go to 500,000 to go to the county to establish the Bill, William and Martha Brown Memorial Park. I never heard him mention park. I think somebody talked to him today. With the historic house at the Centerpiece. The remainder was to be used to establish the William and Martha Brown Education Technology Trust with instructions how to set it up and use it. This was 11 months before he died. Somebody still didn't like that, so he made a second council, October of 2016. Then he removed the 500,000 he had left to the couple that cared for him and Miss Martha, and gave them all of his personal property, which was sold, and they got whatever they got. I don't know why.
You've got 45 seconds left.
Excuse me.
45 seconds left.
All right. It's been more than 8 years since Bill died. Been 3 buildings built down there, one of them on the property, and nothing has been done on the historic home. What was supposed to be the Bill and Martha Brown Memorial Park looks like the Sumner County abandoned wasteland. If you want to go look at it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mike.
Michael Clark, 102 Tioga Trail, Hendersonville, Tennessee. I can't be as eloquent with history and as the Latimers have been, but we got involved in this about 1.5 years ago. Actually, it came down to talk about the traffic situation and found out about this, and we kind of jumped in on that. Right's right, wrong's wrong, and that's always been my position on this. Ms. Brown left a gift that no one may ever match in this county. As Mr. Tommy just said, if you could see what it looks like now, one of the front pillars has blown out. All the windows the part of the windows downstairs have been busted. They've been boarded up. It has been mowed in 2 years, except when I went down there and mowed it this spring. And I couldn't get the back part. We were chest high, but I was able to mow the front part. Hand it over get down there since because all the signs had been put up for the salamander, situation. But, I mean, again, right is right and wrong is wrong. The county accepted the money. When they accepted the money, they accepted the terms of that codicil, and that was to preserve the house. Right now, it's being preserved into the ground. I think this has been a normal brick and mortar house. It would have fallen down several years ago, but this was a house built 200 years ago that was built to last, and it's still standing. It needs to be preserved. I think it can be a great history lesson. I mean, it's sitting on the campus of elementary, middle, and high school. You could walk from any of them down there. And I think it's just a great history lesson that's sitting there that's just rotting away. I think the only thing that was actually done quickly on this property, the county insured it for $500,000. That's the only thing that's been done promptly in this whole matter. And I think they were probably hoping the lightning strike and burn it down. Still standing. So hopefully you guys will let the ad hoc committee stand, let us do our work, and try to get this done in a expedited manner. Thank you.
Thank you.
Had to borrow my husband's glasses. My name is Cynthia McClard. I'm his better half. I live at 102 Tioga Trail, Hendersonville. And we live on the elementary school side of the Liberty Creek schools. I wanted to bring you some photos. This is William and Martha Brown. You can cast around. I don't know, everybody has seen this. I have a picture of what the house looked like after Mr. Brown passed. And it's a brick and mortar house. This is what the house is like now. And it's all boarded up and it's falling apart. And like I said, we live right next door, so we can walk over and look at it. Except for the grass, the weeds that have grown up, and they won't cut the grass. This is a rendering of what the house looks like, possibly under the brick and mortar. It's like the Bridal House, if you're familiar with Bridal House up in Cottontown. Where's it? Cottontown. This is what the house looks like. Thanks to the Latimers, they have traced it back to this. Anyway, I have a copy of the warranty deed, dated 6/13/2015. I have a copy of the last will and testament, dated October 1st, 2015. I have a copy of the codicil, where he changed B1. It's dated 3/16/2016. I'm going to read it. I hope I have time very quickly. I specifically bequeath to Sumner County, Tennessee, in parentheses, the county, the cash sum of $500,000 to establish and maintain a public park located at 212 Hunters Lane, Hendersonville, Tennessee, with the historic home currently situated thereon being permanently maintained by the county as the park centerpiece. The park shall be known as the William and Martha Brown Park. This bequest shall be in a restricted fund held by the county in a separate account and used solely for the purposes of the establishment, promotion, ongoing support, and maintenance of the William and Martha Brown Park. Two of the trustees at the time was Houghton Phillips. The trustees, for the current trustees, you're supposed to report annually to the board and to the Sumner County Commission concerning the investment of the trust property, operations of the trust, and distributions of the trust property. I have a copy of that if needed. Mr. Brown died February the 16th, 2017. That's when action should have been taken immediately on the House, but it wasn't. He's been gone for 8 years now. I know there's been talk of disbanding the ad hoc committee. They worked so hard on this. The current ad hoc committee, or Jim Latimer, he's our historian. We have citizens, we have commissioners. At any rate, if the new ad hoc, if there is a new ad hoc, if you vote for a new ad hoc, I should highly suggest it should be 5 members. Also, Chris Coker with Century Renovations has already done an assessment of the house. And it's awesome what he has said about the house. And I have a note here from Cindy Norman with TDEC. Okay. The cabin located at 36-3904 through 86-58092 is not within any proposed deed restrictions. So, let's get on it. That's it. And if you want to see these pictures, I have pictures.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Stinson?
Hi, Diane Stinson, 1011 Roselle Drive, Castalia Springs. My fifth great-grandfather, Charles Latimer, built the house. My fourth great-grandfather, Nicholas Latimer, grew up in the house. I am very interested in the preservation of this house. I think it is a total disgrace what has happened so far, which is nothing but to allow it to disintegrate. I don't understand that. The will is clear. I don't know why anyone would totally disregard the man's will. I want to read Nicholas Latimer's obituary. He departed in his 65th year of age. He was born in the state of Connecticut and was brought to the West by his parents, Charles and Mary Latimer. At the age of 2 years old, amid trials and privations that would have appalled the stoutest hearts, he was reared and educated in this county, having been a pupil of the celebrated Samuel Black and an associate of Dr. John Shelby, Colonel A.W. Johnson, and others. In 1814, when the sons of Timothy were called upon to punish the savages of the South, he was found at his post under the banner of his country and participated in many of the engagements with the Indians under the lead of the immortal Jackson. In private life, he was a kind parent, a good neighbor, and a useful citizen. In his intercourse with his fellow men, he invariably endeavored to do unto all men as he would that others should do unto him. He was the noblest work of God, an honest man, and that's what we need, is honesty. He leaves a disconsolate widow and 7 children and several grandchildren. We need noble men to stand up for what is right and to do what is right. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Moss? Stacy?
Yes.
Okay.
Stacy Moss, 1391 Foxland Boulevard, 8302 Gallatin. Thank you for your time. I'm a member of District 10, and as a resident of Sumner County, I was given a gift by Mr. Brown around 8 years ago that I am in fear that its survival may be in danger. The Latimer House is not only an important part of our local history, as well as portions of broader American history, some broader American story. It will give our community even more character and become a destination for tourism, as well as hobby and academic historians. I urge Mr. Harris, as well as the rest of you here, and anybody that is interested to take an interest and also do something towards the preservation of this. Don't just sit back. Don't just keep quiet. Actually speak up and don't let it go into the ground, which it sounds like from the photos that I just saw, that I've far from the beautiful rendering that is spectacular. And like many have said tonight, that it was built to last. Please let it last. Don't let it just become a demise. The importance of preservation of Latimer House, and do what you can to ensure its survival and prosperity as another symbol of greatness of our community. Thank you for your attention and your time.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Mansfield.
Jeremy Mansfield, 105 Copper Creek Drive, Gillisville, Tennessee, 37072. Represent Gillisville, Louisville, Marshall Island. This is where the school sits. The house sits used to be model district, and back in 2019, Mr. Jim Lyler reached out to me and Lake Commissioner Mo Taylor told us not to forget about this home, their family's home. And so I tried to be part of that process to honor this. So I've been involved on and off since that, obviously pretty heavily over the past 2 years. I will say I was asked to provide kind of the history of what's happened through all the committee processes and everything else. Given all that information, it's like almost a 400 megabyte document that I uploaded to Google Drive and sent out to the whole commission last month as asked. I can add to it that we had an ad hoc meeting recently, but we have some good news. We were falsely told that this house was in a riparian buffer zone. That was not true. And good news is TDEC has confirmed that, as well as Army Corps of Engineers. I've been on conference calls with both of them. And so both of them have said there's nothing preventing the county from moving forward with renovating this home. It is not in the riparian buffer zone. It is not any kind of deed restriction, which was an email read by Mrs. McClure tonight from somebody from TDEC. Been confirmed by our finance department, our law department. And so good news is the RFQ process has started back out. Finance department's been working on that and retooling that in the language. It's coming out next week in the paper next Thursday. My understanding is, and Scott can correct me if I'm wrong later on, is it's going to be about a 4-week process. We've already set time for architects to come, take interest and look in the home as far as doing it. And as I've mentioned before, our ad hoc committee's done a lot of great work. We have Stephen King from the school board, who is the only school board member who actually represents that area. So I think it would be a great mistake to remove him from any kind of ad hoc process. Mr. Jim Latimer's on it, who's the namesake and direct descendant, as well as Mr. McClure, who is Mr. Brown's neighbor, almost 40 years, right there. And we have several commissioners on that committee. Done a lot of great work, so I have a lot of good stuff to do. We do have an estimate from Mr. Chris Coker that the county commission generously allocated $10,000 approximately, or $5,000 out of the money that we have, around $587,000 for the totality of this project. So the good thing is we're close to, we have a good estimate out there. Got the cart before the horse a little bit. These normal business standards, the government works backwards, I know. So, but we've already got a budget. We already know how much it's going to cost. Now we're having to backtrack because we're required to have an architect to remodel the house. So we're in that process. That's where the RFQ process comes in. Obviously, after the RFQ, the architect is chosen. Then it comes down to the architect gets involved and sees all the material that's been presented, comes up with kind of an estimated budget, and that's when it goes back out to the RFP process to actually get a contractor. I'm sure Mr. Coker is going to bid on it. He's the only person that's really worked on historic homes in Sumner County, so I hope he'd be one working on this at the end. If he does bid on this project and comes in hopefully a sole builder or at least the best price. But release somebody that knows what they're doing on this home, so I think it's great. I have been disturbed. Former Hendersonville alderman made a post and both sides of this issue and asked him to clarify what he meant by both sides of the issue, meaning there's people who want to see this house deteriorate, fall down, and not be built, or be built, and he said, you're correct. And so I find it disturbing that there are people within the school board or county commission that would actually want to see this building deteriorate and fall down, considering the historical and cultural relevance of the home. One thing that has been important, I think, as we look through this process in order to stay in our budget, under $587,000, it's been important that no grants be applied for this house. We do it under budget or any kind of historic designation, because then they're going to turn a $500,000 project into a $5 million project overnight, unnecessarily so. So the hope is to restore the house as best as possible using modern standards and bring it up on the outside and refurbished as well as the inside. And there's a lot of beautiful walls on the inside, and the outside can be restored to look like that, which is pretty awesome. Had a chance to meet with about 50 members of the Latimer family. They do a reunion every year. As myself and a couple commissioners and ad hoc members met, and we're able to share with them what's going on. They're super excited about it. The family, people came from all over the country. They're looking forward to following this process. They're starting to gain a lot of interest nationally and regionally about what's being done to restore this home for Mr. Brown's costal wishes. So be glad to give you updates to the meeting, but we're on a good track as far as moving forward in the RFQ process and just keep this ball moving and getting this done. So I hope we can get this across the finish line and just restore the home. This is irregardless if there's a park that's built for $2 million, who cares? It's not a part of this process. It's about restoring the home as a centerpiece of a park. And so the County Commission and the school board will spend $5 million to build a park. That's up to the County Commission and school board to do that later down the road. We know that legally you're giving $500,000 to get this house, so I'm just saying let's get it done.
Thank you. Mr. Jim Hunt.
My name is Jim Hunter. I'm a retired general session judge here in Sumner County. I live at 1004 Harris Drive here in Gallatin. I'm here on behalf of the Sumner County Recovery Court, Inc., a nonprofit organization. I was president of that organization for a couple of years. I want to introduce Wendy. Wendy Swaby is our new president. She kind of came in the middle of us doing what we're asking tonight, so I told her I would come and speak. We're kind of have a joint project going on with Judge Blanton. We have some money from the opioid committee, $132,000. Judge Blanton has $500,000 from the opioid money, and we're going to put that money together, we would like, and have a build out of the vacated space where Judge Gay and Judge Blanton used to be down there, and Judge McCormick. The sheriff's office and the recovery court has agreed on how to divide the building. All that's worked out. They're going to get a little more than half. Recovery court, the program, the county program, will get the other half, and our nonprofit is asking for a lease so we can come into that space with them. We submitted a letter explaining what we do. Did everybody get a copy of that letter? I think it explains it pretty well. The nonprofit was created in 2012, and our sole purpose for existence is to support the county recovery court program. It's an excellent program. It's a certified program by the state, which means we meet all 10 key components of the way a recovery court should be. These standards are set by a national organization. The state has adopted those standards. We're audited every 2 years to make sure we meet those standards, and we were in the first group of recovery courts in Tennessee to be certified. That was, I think, 2006, somewhere around there, 2007. But we work so closely with the program itself because we get grants for them. We have to rely on them to give us information to apply for these grants and do the reporting on these grants to show what we're doing with the money. All of that is required. Every penny we make is part of this program. And of course, we're asking for a very favorable lease. If you read my letter, we're hoping you'll let us in there for a very low amount. Right now, our nonprofit pays about $2,600 a month to lease space. We're kind of scattered out. We leased 2 or 3 different little offices around the old building down there around the jail. The last time they raised our lease at Dover, and it won't be long before we're priced out of the rental office business. If it keeps going up like it has been the last several years, we're not going to have a place to operate. We provide housing, we provide drug testing, we get them jobs. We have employers that call us to take our people. That didn't happen for several years, but once they found out how these people are supervised, they're drug tested 3 times a week, they're still on probation. If they mess up, we're going to take care of it. We provide transportation for them. We provide even clothes for them when they come out of jail if that's what they need. We provide everything they need to be successful. They're in our intensive outpatient program that the nonprofit has. We provide that to all the participants in the program. The IOP program also is available just to the general public. If you come in and say you have a drug problem, they give you an assessment. If you meet the standard, then you can get in that program. If you don't have the money to pay for it, we'll get a grant from the state to pay for it for you, and you can do it for free. It's an excellent program. We recently linked up with the gentleman from the hospital. The hospital got some opioid money. Mr. Janot helped that happen. They have a great program where they treat people coming through the emergency room up there, and our man, Jimmy Cook, who teaches IOP here, is connected with him, and they're going to be able to refer some people, I think, to our IOP program, which will be great and help us. But having this space would really be good. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the recognition of the public report of the chairman. Yes, ma'am? I apologize. I skipped over you, did I? No.
That's okay.
Come on.
I've been bound. I live at 262 Mercury Road in Sumner County. Also live in the Chapel Island community. Okay. I've lived here since 1976. Okay, 49 years. And I came here the last day of February that year, and on March the 1st, the next day, I met a family of descendants of a Latimer family. Miss Diane Stinson, her brother Bradley, parents Howard and Anna Bennett, and we became very fast friends. We were members of the same church. I was the youth director at Bible Baptist Church in Hendersonville for 17 and a half years. Miss Diane and Bradley were my youth partner. Her parents sold me 5 acres of land off their farm there in Chapel Island community, and Howard helped me build my log home there that I've lived in now for 42 years with my family. So we feel like we're a good part of Sumner County. I do have one question. I've read the history that Mr. Latimer gave online. And of course, I heard it read word for word tonight in the wheel. Okay. And I do have a question. How much of the original property, just 149 plus acres, okay, how much of that acreage besides the 8 tenths the house is built on, how much of that is still undeveloped?
We can't answer questions. We can't answer questions. You can just make comments.
You can't answer the question. All right. Well,
We will try to cover that. Go right ahead.
okay, good. All right. Well, whatever land is left to me, particularly after reading the history of the land and reading right from the Willis Testament that you read, that you're getting read tonight, to me, it's an open and shut case. There should be a park built, and the house should be restored and maintained. Open and shut. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. That does conclude the recognition of the public. And thank you for letting me know that I overlooked it. Report from the chairman. The last 2 committees have moved their hours back 30 minutes. I'd like to move the general op back to 6 o'clock if nobody has any complaints about that. I think we're moving meetings are moving along a little bit better now, and if nobody has any disagreement with that, I'm gonna move it back to 6 o'clock. Everybody good with that?
I would just, like to clarify the reason why I would do that. I would not agree that they're moving better, but they're
Faster pace.
faster paced. There you go. I'll agree to that. They're faster paced, but I would not say better.
Well,
And I have no problem moving it back to 6.
so better means faster sometimes.
Sometimes it doesn't though, so I'm gonna stick to that.
It's all good.
I'm good with 6.
All right. Report from the finance director.
You guys should have all the updates for all the projects handed in. I'm just going to highlight some of the big things. Right now, the architect and our contractor are working on reviewing the change order for Westmoreland EMS, so hopefully we'll get that moving along here in the next couple of weeks. Oak Grove is at the end of its project. We have a couple little things on the punch list to finish out, and then we're going to do one more change order potentially, and then that'll be knocked out and done. The courtroom build out its RFP's out, so I'll be presenting the bids next month in November for the whole process to go through for if we're going to move forward with that build out or not. And then the only other thing that I have that we need to speak on is the direction we need to go for the crosswalk in Gallatin in front of the courthouse.
Which item was that?
For the crosswalk? Yeah, it's not on there because it's not a project yet.
Okay,
I just brought it up because
Mr. Jones, in the original plans, there was an agreement to put a crosswalk from the side of the parking garage over to the courthouse, and that is part of the reason why they do not have a full CO on the courthouse at this time. Part of it. They're working under a temporary CO right now. Yes, ma'am.
So let me understand. So they want to put a crosswalk that you walk up in the
No,
air?
ma'am, it's a lighted crosswalk,
On the ground.
like they had put
On the ground.
in other places inside.
Because I know they have a crosswalk at the light right there by the courthouse.
Yes, ma'am. They're wanting to put a lighted crosswalk directly across in line
Into
with
the
the parking
alley?
garage. Yes.
That alley?
Mhm. Yes,
Was that part of the original plan and is
It
this
was.
waiting to be implemented?
it was.
Is there an argument with city or just waiting on it to happen?
John, you got any information on that you want to share?
It's been going back and forth. I think at this point, it's something that the county should go ahead and do. I think the most economical way to do it is to pay the city to do it, because my understanding is they have the equipment to do the project. And that's one way, and if we can get it done quickly, maybe we can negotiate the temporary CO fees as well as getting the payment settled out with the city of Gallatin.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's some permit money that's owed to the city. And speaking with the mayor previously, she has indicated that the city would be willing to do the crosswalk and take part of that money that would cost to do the crosswalk off the money that the county owes the city for the permits.
Doesn't the city owe us a lot of money too?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't want to be that guy, but I'm going to call point of order. We don't even have a motion or anything to discuss this. That's not even on the agenda.
Good point.
We're just running down the rabbit trail.
Well, that's my original question. Did it fall within one of these or is that an extra one?
And I'll take blame for that, but it was brought up and by our finance department, and that's why we went for it.
So do we, yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a request on this finance report, can we add
there's gonna be a new one next
Okay,
month.
total budget, percent complete,
Yeah, it's all on the next
completed
month.
deliverables and milestones, next milestone, that'd be great. So,
Just a lot to put together.
Mr. Young?
I have a question, on that, about the, crosswalk conversation.
We can't, we have to have a motion.
I know, and that's why I'm getting.
Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to put this on the agenda for next month.
Okay. Well, can that just be done by request?
Yes, we can have that put on there.
Okay, well, there you go.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I wish Commissioner Klein was here because he's more well versed on this one, but the Franklin Street project, were we waiting on something to be completed before some next phase was gonna happen?
No, we're all good.
Is that just a done deal thing now for the parking garage drainage?
So
and all
the
that stuff?
parking garage, we have the certificate of completion, which we needed to have Franklin Street done for that.
Well, there was some kind of a drain, or runoff filter or something that wasn't being done because of this Franklin Street water project, because the two were gonna converge there or something, and they're doing all the time. You don't remember what I'm talking about? So it's all good now. That was the last thing. Okay.
So the parking garage,
Okay.
Franklin Street are all done.
Good deal.
Yes, sir.
And from my memory, which could be way wrong, is the city of Gallatin was they were holding off on paying us a lot of the money,
That's
all the money,
what it was
until this Franklin Street got complete. And now that it's complete, they need to pay us the money.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Does there need to be any action from this committee to request that, or can Mr. Law Director just go ask? Or?
That's what they were waiting on.
You're right. I knew there was something.
You can ask.
There has been some preliminary back and forth on that. Now there's offsets that they're seeking, so pending the completion of the crosswalk now, then we'll know what it is they're saying we owe them versus what we say they owe us. So that is in the works. It's not reached any kind of point where we can say who owes what.
Mr. Chairman, since that, and I'm not going to go into the crosswalk thing, but since that is kind of converged now into that, it makes me wonder the cost differential there, and I want to be careful for the public to see that this isn't a way to bargain with them on something we may or may not need to bargain with. We have a highway department that has a lot of tools and equipment too. Is it something we need to look into doing, or are we truly just negotiating with them and letting them do something we can do to offset some of those costs?
You talking about? Go ahead.
I think that all can be negotiated out next month. I think we're getting back into the crosswalk deal that.
We are. This got merged into.
We'll just hold it off and discuss it.
Okay. If all that information comes forth next month, that's fine.
We'll make it
That's cool. All right.
I don't have anything else.
Conclude yours.
I got one more question.
Yes.
The Hollows Drainage Project, do we have a estimate to complete date? I know we're dealing with a phase 2 type thing, and it used to be just a phase 1 and gonna be complete. I know citizens are really wanting that to be done, or at least see the light at the end of the tunnel. Can you put, like an update on it for next month or something? Thank you.
You said we'd have extra columns next month, phase.
Thank you.
County Mayor's report.
All right, thank you. I will, go over some of these items here that are on the list, and I've got some additional items. Everybody should have the report in their hand. The archive building, extraneous storage clean out. At this time, all extraneous materials have been removed. We'll consider the removal of any additional material subject to the resolution from the election commission case. And as your attorney will advise, I'm not at liberty to discuss that case, but we'll look at the rest of the materials in the archives after that. The Millersville EMS station reconfiguration. At this time, the bill is including sprinklers in both bedrooms in addition to the hallway, and to separate the bedrooms from the ambulance bay as well as the egresses out the back of the current rooms. The architects are working on an alternate design that they hope will reduce the state marshal's comments and concerns. We're not. They're going back and forth with the contractor. They're hoping that if they keep the mezzanine as storage and demo the stairs to it, that it may relieve two potential headaches, and these are their report to me: the second egress to the mezzanine, and then also it may limit having to sprinkle as much area, which is what they want to do. Right now, their goal is still to have this project completed by Christmas, so they're hoping that they get all this worked out with the state fire marshal and get the construction done. But it's involving a lot more than people had anticipated, and the cost is certainly increasing on it. The vacated square courthouse. We have finished with the gov deals. Last few items are being removed that were purchased. Majority of the items are sold. The remaining, there's some desks and tables in there that are really of no value. You've got handles broken, the drawers, some of the drawers are broken on them. I included pictures in that report. It's my intent to, once we get their stuff out, we're going to dispose of that material and donate it to the Resource Authority. It just doesn't, we've done all we can to get rid of it. I think we spent a good 5 months trying to get rid of it. So we're going to remove that and clean it up. I will tell you that on legislative, we will be asking to pursue a grant, and don't have plans yet, but we have to ask permission for the grant before we can go after it, and it is in a time crunch. So we're working on that right now. We've got I can never get it right, but the architects are going to go in and just give us a free assessment of the courthouse on what they think is going to need to be done to it. Now, I will tell you that grant comes with a hurdle, and that hurdle is that it's a 50-50 match. So legislative will take that up next week. Some other notes of interest on some of our capital projects. The parking lot project, we're in the process of completing the RFP for the various parking lots that are on that list that we discussed. Mr. Shamrock and Mr. Owens are working on that. We should have that out to bid next week. The Archives HVAC. Everybody hold their breath. This project started in February. An award letter has been issued to Tennessee Home Solutions to fix that air at a cost of $14,337.80. Don't know how many months it is between February and October, but 8 months. It took us 8 months to spend $14,000 on an air conditioning unit for the archives, but it is well on its way. The parking garage alleyway. Y'all kind of alluded to that a little bit after the Franklin Street project was done. There was an agreement with Gallatin Department of Electricity that they do some electrical work in that alleyway, and Sumner County was responsible for digging for the conduits, getting that set for them to pull the electricity, and then once they were completed, we were going to go in and pave it afterwards. So we are in the process of getting some preliminary bids, see where we are, if we have to bring in any type of engineer. I will tell you back there, there are some drainage issues that we've got to look at addressing. I'm afraid if we just throw a coat over the top of it, we're going to have some significant issues that will come back and bite us in the future. The good news is we've got remaining in that budget $335,457.36. So I do hope that we can get it accomplished well within that budget. So we're working on that and have a report for you next month. County administration building, the roofing project. I've started a conversation with the architect who worked on the project in 2019 and dusted off his plan. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit more and hopefully have a report for you in November on an opportunity to fix the rest of the roof. And then I will end it with kind of echoing the words of Judge Hunter. I know that the recovery court is proposing a lease for $500 or less. However, I would hope that this committee would consider a rent of $1 a year for this space. The economic value and community impact of the recovery court far exceeds $6,000, and I'm confident that the $5,999 in the hands of the recovery court will produce a greater impact on our citizens than the $5,999 in the hands of the government. I hope that you consider this an investment in our community and consider a rent of $1 a year for this for the recovery court for this space. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Under old business, Latimer Brown House restoration. Floor is open for discussion. Yes, ma'am, Mr. Brown.
I spoke about the house and the ad hoc committee, that the work they had done. I'm not on the ad hoc committee. I was not on that. However, they've done a lot of work. They know a lot of the information that's important to move forward on restoration of the house, because there's a lot of historical value. It's kind of like if you dissolve the ad hoc committee as is, I think I would, as I would on other committees, appreciate keeping that ad hoc there, because all of that value of information, there's no reason they still can't work with general ops on what they're doing and what they're finding, because we're supposed to be a collaborative group of leadership here. And I think when we start dismissing committees that have done a lot of good work, then we're not collaborating leadership, we're just making a statement. To me, that's more of a political statement, but I'd like to see it stay like it is with the ad hoc to report to this committee so that we can push this forward, because these folks have been waiting for the Brown House to be restored, to put together what Mr. Brown had requested. And as I've said before, when I die, and all my dollars that I have will never go to the county, I will give it to my neighbor. And so I think that we need to think about the generosity that this gentleman gave to this county. The school has gotten a great deal of property, and they have gotten way, way beyond what I can imagine. And to preserve the piece of property that that man owned, that he lived in with his wife and loved her, and they had their family there, it is our job to maintain it, get it back to where it needs to be as a historic home. I can only imagine, and I love history, but I can only imagine going into that home being restored as the house that it was, and just feeling the experience that it was back then. And I think that we owe it to them to start getting this taken care of. I don't think it's a wise idea to dissolve the ad hoc. I know there's been comments last month about, like, give it to the mayor, do this, do that. But I think what we've been doing is very productive and very valuable. And my motion is to keep the ad hoc committee as it is and work with this committee and move forward.
Second.
Well, we have a motion and a second on the floor.
I'd like to amend that motion also.
Okay.
To keep the current ad hoc committee in its current form for the next year while it continues to work with this committee to see this process through. just adding that language in there for the next year.
Mr. Rogers.
I would ask legal if that's even possible, for our current rules, if the ad hoc come in,
I was gonna just say
staying no longer than 12 months.
you would need some language in the motion that, you were reconstituting an ad hoc committee, and then that would give them the year duration. It'd be basically, just giving them a new 1-year point,
I'll redo my.
which can be stopped at any time, but it would give, they would only have up to a year on an ad hoc.
And the present ad hoc committee has been in, how long now?
May. So, I'm hearing since May, so we're
Of
looking.
last year,
No, this,
of this year.
yeah, it hasn't been a year.
I'm not saying it's been a year yet, but that just starts the clock ticking again. So you can either keep it in its current form for the remainder of the year, reconstitute, or do whatever the committee chooses.
Mr. Jones, do you have something else?
Yeah, I'm rethinking. With that being the case, I'd like to just make a second motion. It wouldn't be an amendment to this motion, it'd just be a motion to take this off the agenda till after the RFQ process and then revisit it afterwards. You can't have two motions, right?
Yeah, that's separate. You can have an amendment to the original ones, but then you can't have another motion on the floor till we get rid of the first motion, so.
Can I re-speak my, motion that I made?
Go ahead.
I would like to continue the ad hoc committee, starting from, what month we in, October? October? Good month, it's my birthday month,
Till May.
until May
I'm good with that.
of next year. And the redesign is that we work together with this committee and general ops to move this process forward and get it going.
I'm good with that. I'll second it.
That's my
Just for clarity's sake, if what we're doing is if we're just going status quo, we don't have to do anything.
That's what I thought.
Well, the motion is to just continue it.
Yeah.
If you do nothing to it, it's still going.
There was a previous motion made last month that got brought back to this month, the continued discussion. So if that's not on the table for tonight, then yeah, we can continue that. But if that's what was brought back tonight, and that was the intent with bringing this on the agenda, then a preemptive motion to keep the agenda would be totally in order.
Mr. Rogers.
So I think,
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, but that other motion's not up, so I can't say yes or no to that.
Mr. Rogers.
I think the commissioner may be referring to what I said last month, where we bring it up this month to talk about it.
Yes.
So with that in consideration, I think just as I did in my committee today of Health and Emergency Services, if I understand right, I'm not an attorney, but I do have higher and 8th grade education. So I'm wondering if, there's nothing here to strike or remove or dissolve an ad hoc committee. I think we're being premature in assuming that the ad hoc committee is going away. If we do nothing, then it stays in this committee. If we reconstitute, then that opens the floor up. I'm just talking on both sides. If we reconstitute, then that opens the floor up for the committee to reappoint everybody on the ad hoc committee, and we lose all work that's been done to this point. My advice is, again, not an attorney, but my advice would be is let it stay status quo, leave it under own business, let it roll the next month, everybody stays in the same place, because the meeting last month has already been adjourned. There was no motion to reconsider. All that stops until there's a motion made this month, and there's not been a motion made.
I'll second that.
There's nothing to second, it just stays there.
Are you motioning to leave it on next month? Are you motioning to leave it on next month? Okay.
There's nothing there. I mean,
Okay.
not till we get a motion on the floor that's justifiable.
No.
Okay.
Is there a motion?
No,
Evidently not. 20 minutes for nothing.
Yeah.
It's okay, we're being paid by the city.
No, I'll make a motion then, so I'll make the same motion I made last month, to dissolve the ad hoc committee, to establish a new committee jointly with the schools. So 2 members from the county, 2 members from the school, and then I'll make a slight change and I'll say 1 citizen. And I'll recommend Mr. Latimer as that citizen, as far as the committee goes. So that's my motion.
2 commissioners, 2 school board representatives.
2 folks, 2 representatives from the county. So like I like to see the mayor and the commissioner, and then 2 from the school board, which, I'd like to see be the director of schools and a school board member of their choosing to represent the school side.
Is there a second?
I'll second it to get into discussion. I would like, if I may, Chairman, the whole onus of the restoration of this house falls on the county and the county alone. So I'm just throwing out what the codicil says, and anything that happens, that the school board is neither committed nor held accountable for anything related to this. It's solely a county issue.
Understood.
So,
Understood. Mr. Jones?
I'm in the queue behind Mr. Schmidt. I do want to hear what he had to say.
I mean, if you're gonna go that route, and I don't know if this is what the will of the people will do that, but you had 2 school board members. I will say that, school board member Stephen King did reach out to me today. It took me a while to get back with him, but if that is the direction, I would just, I don't know if it's an amendment, but of those 2 school boards, at least Mr. King remain on there. I'm the type person, if you reach out to me, I don't say he's fighting for his job, but for lack of better terms, fighting for your job. He sounded, like he would want to stay on for some of the same reasons that the citizens have. I don't think there's any dispute.
Yeah, we all do.
We all want this thing to be preserved. My concern is, and maybe I'm going down a different rabbit hole if I am, Mr. Chairman, tell me, but it's $507,000 approximately that's been bid for for the project. My concern is what money is going to be left in the future if a roof goes, you got to replace the roof. Do we need HVAC in this facility, this home? What is the purpose of this home ultimately going to be? We know we want to restore it. We know we want to keep it, the nature of it, but what is the overall purpose of this? And those are some unanswered questions. One other concern I had, I wish Mr. Klein was here. He did mention that there was mold found and a dehumidifier was placed in there. My concern is, a lot of I inspected homes for real estate agents for 27 years. Anytime you mention the word mold, that was a red flag. It wasn't something, and I'm not saying Mr. Klein was wrong in what he said or criticizing it, but was that mold sent off to a lab for testing? Because my next concern is if you're going to send workers in there, we need to know what type of mold we're dealing with. Because with all due respect, the dehumidifier is not going to get rid of it if it is in fact mold. It could be a cross-based fungus. We don't know, and those are some answers I would like.
Mr. Jones?
I would like to amend the motion to particularly the makeup to be what it is currently now. Same members, same makeup. That's my amendment.
Which is what?
Yes, you did.
Well, I mean, how many commissioners and how many citizens?
How many commissioners?
I don't know what I'm voting on.
right now, it's currently how many, 4 commissioners? 5? 4 commissioners, 2 citizens.
Commissioner Jones, Commissioner Klein, Commissioner Miller, School Board Member Stephen Miller, Mr. Latimer, and Mr. McClure.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, can we
King,
listen?
David King, Commissioner, school board member.
Thank you.
I mean,
So,
Commissioner Mansfield, if you don't mind, can you say those again, who's there?
Commissioner Mansfield, Commissioner Klein, Commissioner Jones, Commissioner Miller, School Board Member Stephen King, Jim Latimer, Mike McClure.
Thank you, sir. So, sorry, I'm trying to run down the rabbit hole, but here we go. So, the only difference would be we would have one more school board member.
no,
Well, I'm trying to
I
back
want
up.
to change them. I want to keep it the same.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I think if we just want to keep it the same, just vote no on this, and then it's back to the same.
Now, Mr. Chairman, did I cut you off? No. If I may, I would actually like to see the makeup of this ad hoc committee with Mr. King, but I would like someone that has, let's say, opposing views, that's not the right term, but someone that would be there that has concerns that maybe they felt like they were left out of the process. I'm not saying they were left out purposely, but maybe someone from the school board that can represent, because this is coming together with a park, could be coming together with a park. So I think my questions were, and I believe someone else here too, is, again, it goes back to what is this ultimate purpose of this house going to be? So maybe having another school board member working, Mr. King would be working on
Order, Mr. Chairman, do we even have a second?
Well, that's what I was just getting ready to ask. I think Mr. Janone seconded Mr. Jones, did you not?
I did.
I thought you did.
But on the amendment.
On the amendment?
We have
I
a second.
seconded.
Mr. Wynn's amendment.
I didn't make it, I made a motion.
He just made
Schmidt just made an amendment.
That's what I was speaking to, Mr. Wynn.
Oh, you made an amendment, my bad.
I was speaking to, Commissioner Wynn's motion, just sharing my feelings that we get someone else from the school board to work with Mr. King. Maybe that has
You second his
I
amendment?
did.
Okay, I thought you did.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you. All right. Yes, Mr. Jones.
With all due respect, Mr. Chairman, to the previous comment that was made, nobody, absolutely nobody that was interested in preserving this house was left out of the process. We selected ad hoc committee members that were fully interested in preserving this house. What comes after that house, whether it be a park of whatever size, that can be dealt with later, but there was nobody left out that was not interested that was actually interested in preserving the house. To go a different route with different people would be to go with a different idea or a different plan that includes way more than the house. We have a budgeted amount for this house. If we don't do what the goal was, which was strictly the house, this will never be done with the budget that we have. So to remake up this board with other people that may have, and I'll use your words, opposing ideas, that would totally shoot this whole thing holes through all the plan and restart everything from square one, because people are going to have different ideas. We either go with what we've set out and all the work that we've done and we keep on plowing through it, or we're starting completely over and this is never going to get done. Budgets are going to go through the roof, it's going to look totally different, and it's going to be years before anything starts. And the citizens, it'll be a slap in the face to all the citizens that have worked so hard on this. There's family members watching this. This has gotten nationwide interest now, and people are starting to post and share things about this. This will totally take it down a different path.
Mr. Williams, go ahead.
I think we're making some assumptions here that aren't validated at this point. I think we don't know, number one, where this would go.
We have
two, I think, excuse me, sir, I have the floor. Number two, the codicil explicitly states it's for a park and the house. And so when I look at a budget and see that almost all of the allocated money is going to be spent on a refurbishment or restoration of the house, it is a little concerning to Commissioner Smith's point. To see where there's HVAC coming in and there's all these things being added, and we don't even have to know a purpose. Like, what is the purpose of the house going to be? That should be step one. And I'm not discrediting anything that the ad hoc committee has done. I think there's been some good work done. I think there needs to be additional work done. There needs to be additional assessments done. The mold, this house has been built over a couple hundred years. It's been renovated. Has there been asbestos testing done? So do we know that before we start plowing off into anything? We need to take the steps to get those things done. Now, the house is jointly owned between the county and the school board. For those who dispute that, here's the registered deed of the house that clearly shows that is jointly owned. Now, the COTA still speaks to it's the funding. We're the funding body. We control the purse strings. So we can decide what money goes to what. So I fully get that, but we are a co-owner in this property, and we need to include the schools in the process. You know, so.
Mr. Dunn?
Yeah. If we're going to, any amendment to what we have going on, I'm not going to support it. But I do think that, again, I think the ad hoc committee has done good work. I think that it's not that this needs to be torn up and thrown away. We just need to get some other people into the process to get their perspective, especially the co-owner of the property. You know, one thing we hear a lot about is that it's been 8 years, and I wholeheartedly agree. It's been too long. But then whenever we start to look at, we've been in office for 3 of those 8 years, and we decided that this is important to start moving towards in May. No. We spent a whole year.
September 2 years ago.
We spent a whole year debating whether the ad hoc or the Parks Department was legally established, and we just spun our wheels. But I do think it's time to get some other folks involved, especially the co-owners, so we can figure out what exactly it is that we want to do with this property, with the house and the park, per what the codice says.
Mr. Jones?
I'll just address a couple of pieces of misinformation that were given. The park, to ease everybody's minds, the park has already been established. The park is already there. There's a sign there on the property saying that there was a park. We established that almost 2 years ago. There is a park there. Now, your definition of a park, what a park looks like, how big a park is, whether it's 2 park benches and a flower box, or if it's an 88-acre grandiose park with an amphitheater, that could be questionable. But there is a park there. The park was established. The centerpiece now has to be looked at. We have limited funds. The centerpiece now needs to be fixed with those limited funds. Whatever gets built up in the park later, the park that's already established, that's fine. That's for another day. But we know that the centerpiece, the main part, has to be addressed. So that is just wrong to say that the park hasn't been looked at. It's the size of the park that's in question here. Everything will absolutely change if the people change. All these people that you're saying may have opposing views or different ideas have always been welcome to come to every ad hoc meeting we've ever had and speak to those concerns, to speak to any of those things. They've all been publicly noticed. If they had other ideas, they could have presented them to the committee. Nobody has. There has been no interest in fixing this house other than the people that have been on this ad hoc committee. Nobody has. And to say otherwise would not be true. Where have they been? Where has the people been that have been interested in fixing the house?
Mr. Jones, we just keep saying the same thing over and over again. Go ahead, Mr. Rogers.
Call the question.
Call question. Question being called on your amendment?
Yes.
All right. You want to restate your amendment?
My amendment to his motion was to change all the people, to not change any of the people, and keep it the same as the people there is. So what his makeup is to scratch that and keep it the makeup of Mansfield, Miller, Klein, Jones, King, McLeod, and Latimer. Am I missing anybody?
Question's been called. All in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Yes, she said.
All opposed? Raise your hand if you're opposed.
This is with a question.
Call for the question. Call for the question.
Call for the question, sure.
Yes. Okay. It's unanimous. We'll call for the question.
Who seconded the call?
I did.
She did, Mr.
She did.
Jones.
I'm sorry, I don't cover it.
Now we're on the amendment. All in favor of Mr. Jones's amendment, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
raise your hand for. 2 for it. Against. 4 against. All right, now the main motion is Mr. Wynn. Y'all ready to vote on the main motion?
Restated.
Yeah. Restated. Yes.
To dissolve the current ad hoc committee and, to reconstitute with 2 members from the schools, so a school board member, director of schools, 2 members from the county, 1 commissioner, county mayor, and then 1 citizen, and I would recommend Mr. Latimer.
All right.
May I make a,
Go ahead.
So, and this is for legal, who is responsible for the maintenance of the house?
County.
Just an amendment to Mr. Wynn, on the school board, I just respectfully ask at least keep one of those 2 with Mr. King on that amendment, if he's agreeable to that.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
And like I said,
I'll second your amendment.
He called me today, so I just.
Can you not just add that to your main?
Yes.
I'll change my main motion to include Mr. King.
Yes. Mr. Jones.
I have a question. It's a clarification question because of the previous comment. Did you make that motion because he asked you to keep him on there?
For a couple of reasons, he contacted me today, and we just said we had a discussion. He requested to, consider it. I said, well, when I get to the committee tonight, well, there's going to be a lot of discussion, and I'll take that into consideration.
Well, if that's the case, then I ask you please keep me on there. And I'm sure Commissioner Mansfield did the same. Of all the work that we've done on that committee, we know more about it than anybody else on this commission. And Commissioner Klein's been under the house. He knows more about it than anybody. To not keep him on there would be crazy.
All right.
So we're asking for you to add that to the motion too. Since he asked you to add his name to it, would you consider doing that?
Well, from what I've seen, I think, again, coming back to Mr. Wynn, we need some people, there's concerns we have. Again, the mold, that's not been addressed. It's not, yeah, it's not.
We're off what we're.
Yeah, I mean, so no, I'm not, until these people get on the committee with these questions and they get answered, again.
Who's these people?
That we put on the.
Who are they? Who are they?
Well, it'll be 2 commissioners, 2 school board representatives, Mr. Black.
Well, my question, may I ask a question?
Sure.
Mr. McClare was on there. He's a citizen. He had a lot to say, and he lives right next door to Mr. Brown, knows a lot of the history. Why wouldn't you want him on there? I think this is. This is very, very. I guess people are saying they're.
Y'all keep your thoughts to yourself right now.
2 commissioners, so that, why could, we could leave, it doesn't matter, it matters to me that these people have done all this work, and now you want to draw the rug out. I know why you're doing it, but I don't think it's right. I think you're doing a disservice to the committee and the House. Leaving the committee in place until May to get the work done that they've been doing. What's wrong with that? What will hurt? I mean, you want to have, well, I want to have, 2 people from the school board. Well, they never come to the meetings and talk about it. They just put signs up and tell you to stay out front. I don't think it's right. I think this is wrong. I'm not voting.
Okay. Y'all ready to vote on the main motion?
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
I'd like to amend that motion to add 3 more commissioners to that. Mansfield, Klein, and Jones.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Nunn.
And this is in addition to the two
Yes.
that Mr. Wynn's proposing?
Yes. Y'all ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No. It's 4-2.
Good 3.
No, as long as.
I heard an aye.
Yeah, as long as his would stay on there, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
So it's 3.
Mr. Wynn's proposing two additional.
3-3.
It's 3-3 then.
It doesn't pass.
It doesn't pass. So. Now, back to the main motion. Y'all ready to vote on the main motion?
You're gonna kill this house.
No. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
No.
2 against. 2 noes, 4 yeses. All right.
Killed it, guys. Just FYI.
Mr. Jones.
Put the word out there.
Mr. Jones.
Put the word out.
Will you, Mr. Jones, you don't have to create chaos.
Chaos has already been created at this table, Mr. Chairman.
Drop it. Just drop it.
Chaos was created right here.
We're not getting in a shot match now.
No, I'm not shouting.
Well, yes, you are.
No, I'm not shouting. I'm talking the same level you are.
Just hold your thoughts, please. Under new business, surplus property, gov deals, on page 10,
Motion approved.
we have a motion to approve. Second. Motion to second. Any comments, questions?
No.
Go ahead.
Some of the computer equipment that was on there, some of that looked like it was, I mean, I'm no technician, but, looked to be fairly decent and usable. Has our IT department, have they looked at this stuff and just?
It's somebody that came through them, did it not, John? I mean, excuse me, Mayor.
John's perfectly fine. I don't know. If y'all want to pump for a month, I can find out for you, but I have not had any conversation on any of this.
Can I comment on?
Yes, sir.
We're merely following a policy that was put into place, so if no one can use it, it goes to gov deals.
Some of that from Sumner EMS, some of it's.
So we are in compliance with our policy, so if we start adding these extra things like have IT look at it or have EMS see if they want to use these radio, you're gonna create a problem.
I think so.
But it's y'all's will.
Yeah, no, I asked the question just because some of it looks like it's fairly decent equipment, and I didn't know if there was, some of them could be put into stock for, later use at a later time. But if IT's already looked at it, I don't have a problem with it. My question is just, did IT review the equipment, and is any of this usable for like stocking for when something does go wrong?
I think, yes, ma'am.
It had a 60-day exposure to all the departments per our policy prior to that.
Okay. I'm good then, thank you.
Mr. Rogers makes a motion. Do we have a second? Second. Mr. Smith, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No, I'm not gonna vote for that.
Excuse me, ma'am?
No.
She's abstaining. She said no. Mr. Nunn says no.
I'm a no also.
Mr. Jones also said no. Request for recovery court.
Motion for $1.
Second.
I'd like
Third.
discussion on this.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm on the opioid abatement committee, and, this was brought to the committee, and we talked about it. They wanted to do first, we had offered $1,300, because it was half of what they were paying, and then they've come back with the $500. The concern we have is with the dollar, is that it's gonna set a precedent for other groups to come, because these are 501c, to come and request money, $1. And so $500, it's fair, for what we're doing. But I think that if you leave it at least that the judge has presented, because he did his own calculations and his own work, that would at least keep people from coming and saying, well, you did it for them for $1, why can't you do it for me for $1? So I would say that we keep it at $500.
Are you making that in form of promotion?
I'm making that as an amendment, sir.
Okay. Do you have a second?
Leave it at $500.
You have a second?
He seconded it.
Have a motion and a second? Mayor, Isabel.
This is an isolated situation. We typically don't rent to nonprofits. There are certain situations when it's happened in the past, but I still suggest that this is a quasi-government organization that works very closely with our law enforcement, our jail, and the opioid committee. I still think $1 is a good one for this case.
Mr. Rogers.
Well, probably won't hear this long or often, but I agree with the mayor. I know, right?
I'm glad it's on camera.
The drug court program, and I know because I've seen it, they give way more than $1 or $499 or even $1,299 to the county. Their grant applications for drug screens alone would well supersede the amount of money that we're even thinking about asking for here. So to be a stickler and ask for the $500, I don't think is a good idea. I mean, I think at $1 with the return on what they give to the county is more than reasonable. It should be free, but I understand we can't do that. But I think we're well aligned.
I'll be real quick. I would just say, if you've seen some of the success stories of people that have been incarcerated, have had substance abuse problems, you've seen where they came from to where they are now. I witnessed it, I think about a year ago or so at the graduation ceremony, and the stories of success, I mean, it's proofs in the pudding. So I think they're going to give a lot more back to the community than $1.
We have an amendment on the floor. Y'all ready to vote? All in favor of Mr. Young's amendment? You want to restate your amendment?
To leave it at $500.
Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say no. No. 4-2. All right.
Got to vote on.
So now, the main motion. Yes, Mr.
So, question, I wholeheartedly agree with $1. Is that per month? Is that an annual number?
Annual.
So
my suggestion is an annual.
So I would just make that amendment, is to put that in as an annual number. And then also to the term of the lease, I don't know, do we need to set a term? Is it a yearly? Can you go 10 years?
It's y'all's decision to make.
But we can't set it. I guess I'm asking, can we set a term?
I think it's the same, that's year to year. Would that not?
That's possible.
Yeah.
It's really, I've seen leases run the gamut, weekly to 10 years, so.
I would just also put it not only at an annual number, but then just have that lease for a period of 10 years.
I'll change my motion for a period of 10 years and annual for $1.
Okay.
I hate to belabor the point, but that does raise a question. The actual crafting of the lease will need to go through legislative, I assume, and the full commission. So we would need either recovery court or our attorney to draft the lease for them to
go to legislative.
Next month.
Next
week.
That's not
Down to the commission.
because I've got legislative, I could turn right around and get the whole commission packet together because we're not moving commission. So there's no way I can get a lease in play.
I'll be happy to draft a lease to present to the legislative committee.
Well, I'm gonna still have to scrutinize the lease, so it's a problem. But to get it turned around for legislative this month, and also have an agreement that they're okay with the terms as well, and this is two parties entering into a contract.
Let's have it prepared for next month, legislative. Would that be okay?
Mr. Rogers?
Mayor, had my question answered, so with that, I'm not speaking, but I'll call the question.
Okay. Question on we're back on the main motion, right?
Call the question.
Yeah, but, okay.
Anybody second?
Motion to call for, Yeah, do we have a second for the,
Not yet.
call for question?
I have one question.
So you don't have a question?
I had one question to ask, but I want to second it, but I'll call the question after.
Of course, go ahead.
Should have asked for, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, is anything gonna break if we send this to, waits a month? I mean, do we, because the space, my understanding is the space that it's gonna be allocated.
Not gonna break.
Okay, we've got the time, I just wanna make sure we're not against it, or, okay.
They're on a month lease where they're at.
Okay.
They may have an increase, but they have to give notice probably too of leaving where they're at.
We suspend the rules with.
Motion to suspend the rules. Mr.
Second.
Judge, yes. Come up and elaborate on that a little bit.
About, when we need the lease?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's not built out yet, it's gonna be a while before that happens. I think they have hired an architect, they're working on that. I've met with Dustin Owens, he can draft the lease. We would like to look at a lease, at some point before, it's a done deal. But I mean, we need to know what's gonna be in the lease.
I just need a point of contact.
Right, I would say Wendy will be your point of contact. Yeah. We can give you the information, we can send it to you, I can send you email or text, and she can be your point of contact. Of course, we have a board, our board has to approve everything.
I understand.
Right, but we would like to look at a lease, but I don't think there's any great big deadline we're trying to meet, because the county's trying to get everything together with the architect, get all the plans finished, all that kind of stuff.
When I went to the opioid abatement committee meeting, you can help me back me on this.
Sure.
But it was my understanding that we kind of are underneath the time crunch in terms of signing a contract to do this work, because of the grant money is gonna be like gone in June of next year, so we have to spend our grant money before then.
Yeah, the contract and the lease are two things.
Right, but they were like
But
hinging on each other, yeah.
Yeah,
You have to spend the money within so much.
exactly,
Right,
exactly.
so.
I'll have the lease done by next legislative, that's not a problem, it's just to get it turned around by Monday of next week.
Yes, month's fine, yeah.
In November.
Yeah. That's
And that's
Yeah,
okay
if you
with
just
us.
give me that.
I'll get you a contact for her.
Okay.
We're good. Main motion.
Main motion.
Don's motion.
Don's motion.
For a year for 10, or $1 a year for 10.
$1 a year.
$1 a year for 10 years.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No,
One no. Mr. Jones?
not that I don't love them, I just don't.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.